PCUN originally stands for Piñeros y Campesinos Unidos del Noroeste, so farm workers and tree planters united of the Northwest. The thing that gave birth to kind of like the movement started in 1977 with the Willamette Valley Immigration Project.
There was these really nasty raids that would come around to work sites, especially targeting farm workers at this time, and we were hearing about entire farm worker communities getting wiped out. And they went out there and they started with this tiny little card that said, "Call us if you get caught up by INS." With time, it became a base of people, and this base of people ended up building what today is known as PCUN. And what I like to tell people is that PCUN, sometimes we're whatever you need us to be in that moment, right? Because the needs are very deep. Our work is really to empower farm workers and Latinx working families. We do that through community building, through changing the face of our elections and changing the dynamics in our elections. We do that through systems change at the state and national level. But at the core of this is really ending the exploitation of people and all of the effects that come with that.
PCUN is called the moral compass of the state legislature. Even if it's just like the PCUN logo, it says that if PCUN is backing you or is working on this, that's like the true north of what you should be working on or paying attention to. We are connected to an ecosystem of sister organizations to try and address like all the needs that our community might need. And again, it falls back into like the intersectionality of education, housing, safe living environments.
Sebastián Francisco Perez, an indigenous Guatemalan farm worker, was working out in the nurseries laying irrigation pipe in St. Paul, and it was about 114 degrees outside, and next thing you know, he fainted, and they couldn't find him for a while. The ambulance just couldn't get there on time, and Sebastián Francisco died that day. For us, it was a moment of coming together, of continuing to activate our collective care network, reaching out to other farm workers to make sure that they had what they needed in the heat dome. We want to make sure that Sebastián Francisco's death is not in vain and that this doesn't happen to other farm workers again. So after that happened, we were able to win some emergency heat and smoke rules, and now, a year later, finally have permanent rules that are the strongest heat and smoke rules in the country.
We 100% believe in people-powered movements. Like, it takes a community of people to make change, and there has been some really amazing wins.
In 2016, here in Woodburn, we had never had a Latinx identifying person representing this district. And for the very first time in 2016, we were able to elect Teresa Alonso Leon, the first indigenous migrant Latina, representing the first majority Latino House district in the state. And that was a huge deal for PCUN. She was gonna be someone who not only will inspire new voters, she'll inspire young people, she'll inspire Black and Indigenous people of color to vote for the very first time, and
that community is now represented in another level of elected office that makes decisions that impacts them directly. And they can see themselves reflected that this is something that I can do, this is something I can grow up and do, and it's not something that I am excluded from.